Right, I think I'm live. Hi guys, how you doing? Let me just check I've got everything running. Can you see and hear me okay? It looks like my mic is on. That's always a good start. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Right, welcome. As you can see, it's only me. I did say on Facebook, I think last week, we would try and go live this Sunday. I completely forgot that Andrea and Ellen actually are away at Girl Guide Camp. So I'm here on my own. So you've got to put up with me, unfortunately. But I really wanted to come on, if only to just say thank you, as the title says. Started already. Okay. Oh, I was so calm before. I was so prepared. Let me say a few hellos. Lots of people popping in to say hello. If you don't know the context of this, we unfortunately lost Monty last week. I thought this would be a lot easier. And it was just a massive shock. I'm reading the messages as they come in. And I did put out a video last week, which hopefully many of you have seen, which was just pictures of him. And that really helped, strangely. It helped us. I've watched that back 2 or 3 times myself. And yeah, it just really helps. So many messages. The reason I wanted to come on and say thank you was I've had hundreds upon hundreds of messages on that YouTube video, on the Facebook post particularly, and then so many private messages from all sorts of people that I've met through the YouTube channel, through the Facebook groups. So many people that don't normally comment on things on the videos came out and said that they felt they had to say something. I can't read some of these messages. We also had some one in particular, cards in the post. This came from Julie and Jennifer, who call themselves fellow taxters. There's no way I'm going to be able to read this, so I won't. But it's got, these are forget-me-not seeds. I'm not green-fingered in the slightest, but Andrew's going to try and do something with those and plant them. So thank you so much, guys, for that. The amount of messages we've had, there's some in the chat now talking about understanding what it feels like. And I guess if you haven't had a dog, I mean, it's similar with cats. I remember when Zahir and Beck lost their cat about a year ago, and that hit them really hard. I think there's something special about dogs, though. You get a real personal bond, and it's, I was chatting to Carla, and she summed it up. It's the fact that you lose that unconditional love and affection. That's what you lose, that really close bond. And I'm a fairly, you know, matter of fact kind of guy. I don't really wear my emotions on my sleeve, you know. But this, losing him, I don't know, it just hit me. Yeah, Chelsea just said perhaps it's too soon. I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be too soon. I think talking about it will always be difficult. It's been a week already. I stupidly thought I would be okay today. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be on for the full hour. I just wanted to say thank you. It does help. The messages do make us feel less alone in this. It's weird actually right now. If you're just joining me, it's only me. Andrea's not here. She would, I think, have come on and chatted with us, or with you. But she's actually away at Girl Guide Camp with Ellen. So I'm here on my own, which is nothing new. You know, they've been doing Guide Camp for years and years now. But of course, normally I'll be here with Monty, and he's like my little sidekick. He's always here, and that's what's so different. This place is just so empty without him. So yeah, I just wanted also to explain the short version of what happened, just so you guys know, because I know so many of you cared about him. He was with my parents when it happened. He was fine. He wasn't an old dog. He was 12 years old. We'd had him for 7 years. But he was clearly slowing down. He didn't have the energy he used to have. He was struggling on his walks. He'd be all excited and really want to go out, but then he would slow down to a crawl. I carried him back a couple of walks. He just didn't have the energy. So we knew he was slowing down, but he was happy. He was eating well, all of that stuff. So, and right up until the day before he passed, he was fine. But then he got sick, as in he was being sick. And he had an upset stomach, which was affecting the other end as well. So that was quite a mess. But mum and dad, this isn't that uncommon in dogs. If you've had a dog, you'll all know that they pick up stuff, they eat stuff while they're out and about. Monty was terrible for this, picking up disgusting stuff off the street and eating it. And he'd done this many times and been sick. So mum and dad didn't panic. He got over that. He seemingly got over that, and then was drinking lots of water, taking the fluids back on. But unfortunately, he then had a seizure or a fit and lost control of himself again. And then he lost control of his legs and he couldn't walk. And then he had repetitive seizures or fits after this. And at that point, he was taken to the vet. He was put on a drip. I'm not sure what else they did. I can't remember what mum said. But it became very clear that it was fighting a losing battle. And at this point, the vet recommended for his benefit that he was put to sleep. This was on the Wednesday while we were away. And I'm glad that mum and dad chose not to tell us, because it really would have wrecked the holiday. There was really no point in telling us while we were away. So they had the horrible task of, we have a family WhatsApp group where I am noticing the super chats, guys. I'll get onto that in a minute. We have a family WhatsApp group where we keep in touch. And we were putting all these pictures of Disneyland and beaches, when we went down to Clearwater, and saying, yeah, we're having a great time, this, that, and the other. My poor parents Mum had to stop messaging and commenting on there because she was holding this horrible secret that Monty had sadly passed away. And then, of course, when we came home, we were going straight to pick him up because he was actually at mum and dad's house. He wasn't here at that point. And we were going straight there to pick him up. So we rearranged that, and they came round here and broke the news to us, which was horrific. And then just quickly, plans moving forward. we have spoken to the vets since. We have asked them to organise having him cremated, which I believe is happening on Friday, and then we will get the ashes back. We've chosen to have the ashes back, mainly because I really feel I didn't get the chance. I didn't have a chance to say goodbye. So we're going to, God, this is so much harder than I thought it would be. So we're going to spend a day. What I would like to do, and I think the girls are on board with this, is his toys, what's left of his food, and everything associated with him. We're going to take to the animal shelter that we rescued him from. And on the same day, we're going to take his ashes to various places that he loved and do that. Now, I can see the messages saying that this is too much, I should end the video, but I want to say this. I need to do this. I think it'll only get harder if I leave it to talk about it. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. I don't particularly want to cry on camera. It just feels a bit weird. But, I've cried so much this past week. Strangely, more than I had a couple of conversations with people about this. I've been more emotional about this than I was when my grandparents died. And that was slightly weird, but it makes sense because I was so much closer and Monty was like immediate family to us. And it's just hit us so hard that the hole that's been left. Yeah. Hi, Vinny. I never got to say goodbye to my pet, and getting your emotions out helps. Exactly. Claire sobbed when she heard. I would imagine a lot of people, when we put the news out there, cried because he was a big part of this channel. He was a huge part of our family. There's only 3 of us here, and he was such a personality. He was like my little sidekick. Recently, he chose to sleep under here, underneath. I've just run out, but there was a big bubble wrap roll here, and he chose to sleep underneath that or underneath the desk. And he was like my little sidekick, really. I'm going to scroll back and just thank people for the super chats. I don't know how many I missed. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. And RJ says, buy a flower from me. Monty was one cute little dog. I tell you, when I put that video together last Sunday, just so I could put something out to share something with you, the amount of pictures we have and the amount of video we have is really nice in one way, because obviously we've got that and we're able to share that with you. The video, mainly because of YouTube, obviously, I wouldn't have filmed half of the footage we've got of Monty if it wasn't for this, for the videos we make to put on here. So that's been good. And I do still plan to edit something together, some of our favorite little clips There's some great clips of him at Christmas time, all dressed up and, you know, doing all the silly things the girls used to do with him. But the pictures, still pictures for me, are more emotional, really. Some of the ones with him and Ellen are the best because they were so close. And Ellen, bless her, is struggling so much more than me. You think I'm a mess. He was her little brother, really. Wow, thank you, Sean. Help towards a plaque, if you like. £30. You really don't have to do that, but thank you so much. We haven't thought about anything like a plaque. I don't know if that's something we're going to do. I don't know. It will be something we would decide on as a family. I don't know. I think the video I'm going to make is going to stand as a little memorial in my mind to him, something I can look back on, something the whole family can look back on. Whether we're going to have something physical, I don't know. But thank you so much for the super chat. I will speak to Andrea and Ellen and see if we do want to get a physical plaque made up. I have no idea. Wow, thank you, Steve. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. And Karen as well, thank you. Karen has her own little Monty. You sent me a message, didn't you, Karen, which set me off again about a week ago. Yeah. I think I've missed one out because there's one showing it. Oh, yeah. Carmel. Wow, I can't pronounce your surname. Guifoil? Probably wrong. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, sorry for your loss, a donation to the rescue in memory. Now that's a great idea. Okay. To be honest, that's probably what I will do with the super chats, will be to donate them back to where he came from. It's an animal shelter called Blue Cross, which I think there's more than one, but the one we know is quite local to us. Thank you, Carmel. I will do that. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the messages. Phil Speedway there saying losing a dog is one of the hardest things. As I said earlier, it caught me off guard. It totally did, and I was a proper mess for days. The last couple of days, I've actually managed to focus on work, which has helped. I got a load of listing done yesterday. I'm still very I can't focus for much time. My mind is still away with the fairies. But yeah, the last couple of days, I'd really kind of felt, not that I'd come to terms with it, but I felt I was in a place where my emotions were kind of under control. And I thought I could come on and just say thanks to everyone for all your messages and stuff, and I'd be fine. But yeah, it's not easy. What's your favorite memory that really makes you smile? Says Lex. Trying to set me off now. There's so many. I really don't know. I have fond memories of when we rescued him. We went and kind of found him and then registered our interest. And then the way they structured it was that we would go and visit the rescue centre and take him out and see if there was any sort of connection, see if he was happy with us and we were happy with him, and we got on, sort of thing. And we took him for walks There's a nice path near the rescue centre that we took him up. We plan to take his ashes up there and say goodbyes and that sort of thing. And memories of when we first met him are quite strong. So possibly that's it, really, just when we first met him. And he was a little fatso then. I don't know if I've ever shared that. He came from he was given to an old lady who I think had lost her husband or partner, and for company, but she became ill and couldn't take him out, and I think was feeding him the wrong food and giving him lots of treats, and she couldn't look after him anymore. So I don't think she passed away. I think she just gave him up to the rescue centre because she couldn't look after him properly, and that's when we found him. But because she hadn't been able to walk him and was, I think, giving him lots of treats and stuff, he was, you know, kind of as wide as he was long. So he was a right little fatso, and he hadn't been trimmed for years, so he had super long straggly hair, and he looked so different to what he did later. He was put on a diet of special food that we got from the vets, and this, that, and the other, and we had took him on a walking regime. We're big walkers anyway. We love walking, but then he developed problems with his legs because he was so overweight, and we were walking him so much, so we had issues with his legs for a while. But yeah, I have happy memories of when we first got him. Oh, good Lord, there's more super chats. Bear with me. Hold on. Thank you, Cosmic Thrifter, for whatever you and Monty would think is best. Thank you. Another donation to Monty's Rescue Centre from John. Okay. That's fantastic. I mean, if something positive can come out of this, that'd be great. So I don't know what more I want to say, really. I've shared what happened at the end, a little bit about what we think our plans are when we get him back. Well, not him, but you know. And then things channel wise, I guess we'll go to some sort of normality again. There's going to be a bunch more videos of our holiday coming out. If you're not into that sort of thing, I apologize, but they're more for us, really. You may have seen I put a Disney one up yesterday of our exploits at the Magic Kingdom. There's more of that to come, which I know isn't really what most people are here for. We're a reselling channel, and that's what most people are here for. But yeah, I'm going to make the videos I want to make, and I have so much footage. So yeah, the next week or so will be a few videos from the holiday, and then I guess we'll get back into chatting about TAP, really. Hi, Carla. Monty would think a lifetime supply of biscuits was best. He would eat anything. Hi, Bianca. Yeah. I like to think we gave him a happy life. He became a grumpy old man towards the last year or so. Like I say, he wasn't old. He was 12. He would have been 13, I think, this year. It's not terribly old in dog years, but he had a very good groan on him. You know, if he thought you might be taking him out for a walk, and then you sat down and started watching telly or something, he'd give you a good old man grunt and a groan, and he'd roll his eyes at you. But yeah, so many people in the chat have been here and understand. They just leave a big hole. They leave a hole that you can't fill. A few people have mentioned about getting another dog. I really can't see that right now. I'm not ruling it out, and it may well happen, but I can't think about that, and I really don't want that right now. Lucy says, scatter them somewhere. He loved to walk. We haven't really thought all the way through it, but I think that's the plan. There's a river walk 5 minutes from our house that we used to take him all the time, and he loved it down there. He swam in that river several times, and he loved. It's a popular dog walking place, so that there's doggy smells everywhere, and he was in his element, just sniffing grass. So that was him down there. And then there's a wood. I think I've released a couple of videos of us taking him to a local wood called Hitchwood. He loved it up there as well. So there's that, and then back to the rescue centre and the walk we took him on when we were getting to know him. So that will be, I think, what we'll do. Thank you, Pivotal Profit, for the super chat. Anything that comes in now, I'm just going to donate to Blue Cross, which is where he came from. Unless you specifically say otherwise, I think that's the right thing to do. I know a couple of people, Carla and I think Lisa, already donated. So thank you so much for that, guys. I'll try and film actually that day when we go down there. What I might do, I could take it, put everything together and write a check out for them and hand it in and say to them that this is in memory of Monty, and explain that we rescued. Whether they'd remember or not, I doubt it, the amount of dogs that go through that place, but that might be quite nice, so they know why, you know, and where the money's coming from. So thank you, Lee. Lee's just donated £5. It says here is something towards the rescue centre. And Chelsea, £10. Thank you, mate. The advent calendar was the best. Yeah, Andrea, when she was doing the Vlogmas thing, I think she was filming Monty in the mornings, getting ridiculously excited about a tiny bit of doggy chocolate or whatever they had in them. Yeah, no doubt. When I get around to editing the video, there'll be some advent calendar clips in it. Hi, Sue. How are you? We are not here for reselling anymore, Nick. We're here for you and Andrea. Thank you. Hi, David. Carla says, oh dear, I should not have put makeup on today. Oh, I set you off again. Carla's one of many people I chat to, some people at great length on Messenger. You know who you are. And that really helped. You know, the first few days after it happened, I was just struggling to really make sense of any of it. And I was quite shocked at my reaction as well. I was a proper mess. There's Lisa. I said before, I don't know when you joined us, Lisa, but I said that some people, including yourself, already donated to the Blue Cross, which is what I'm going to do with these super chats that are coming in. After this is BC. After this, I may just watch an old video of you telling Monty to shut up, barking in the background. Such a cute personality. He had FOMO, as we call it, which is fear of missing out. If he thought something was going on, he would scratch at the doors to get in. You know, he hated being left. If all of us were in here, if Ellen was in here with us for some reason talking about something, he would go nuts. He'd be like, I'm not having that. I'm part of this family. Yeah. Thank you, Barry. I don't know if I mentioned that one. Oh, did I miss another one? No. So yeah, he was a definite character. He knew how to pull the little doggy faces. He could wrap Andrea around his finger. I can say that because she's not here. And he used to pull a good trick. If for some reason I was out and I came back in just after dinner time, and let's say, for example, on Thursdays, Andrea would go to Girl Guides with Ellen, and she'd give him an early dinner. And then I'd come home from wherever I'd been, and he'd go and do his like dinner routine, like do a load of barking and go and stand by the cupboard where his food is. So I got wise of this after a while, and I used to end up texting or ringing Andrea and saying, have you given him his dinner yet? Because he's telling me in very clear Monty language that he hasn't eaten. He got a few times it worked, and he had 2 dinners. He was good at that. Oh, Steve loved Monty's motivational videos. That was quite a short-lived thing. I think we only did 2 or 3. I was going to carry that on. It was going to be like a Monday thing, but as you guys who make videos know, it's about fitting it in time-wise, really. Sorry, I'm behind in the chat. Thank you, M. Mass, for the super chat. It says for Monty and the family. Thank you so much. That means the world. What I've decided is that the super chats that come in on this video, it seems only right that when we go back to the rescue centre, I'll just make a donation, and it can go back and hopefully help more dogs that are in need. Oh, I think there's another one just come in. Great t-shirt, by the way. What am I wearing? Oh yeah, I love this. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Wouldn't it be nice if we could actually do that and just say, no, I don't like this current reality. Can I substitute one where I have a little furry sidekick again? Oh, that's horrible. PGH Pix says, sorry for your loss. I lost my German Shepherd 5 years ago on Christmas morning. Found her in daughter's room. No idea what happened. Oh, that's horrible. The fact that it's a double-edged sword how it happened with Monty. The fact that we weren't here to see him go downhill so rapidly, you know, thankfully he was only ill for about 24 hours. You know, he had this sickness which led on to fits and seizures. The fact that we didn't have to witness him going through that is a blessing. Certainly, I would never have wanted Ellen to see that, to see him go through that. At the same time, because we weren't here, we didn't get to be part of the decision-making process that led to him being put down. We weren't able to go and say goodbye while he was still with us, and that bit hurts for me, particularly because I don't specifically remember giving him a big goodbye when we went, because I was in a mad rush with dealing with all the things I had to deal with, and yeah. Thank you, Karen. Oh, thank you, Richard. Hold on. Let me scroll back. Thank you, Richard. I will pass that on. And thank you, Karen. For Monty, try and remember what an awesome life you gave him, and he gave you. Big hugs, all 3 of you. I think slowly I am starting to focus on, you know, he had a great life. He was a happy dog. And what more, when you break it down, what more can you actually ask for a dog? They don't live very long in the grand scheme of things. So if you can say you gave your pet a good life, that's it. Job done, isn't it, really? It's just difficult. Filling that hole. Graham there. Maybe when you go to Blue Cross, there will be a mini Monty. It may change, but the way I feel about it, I don't want another dog. Not till the end of time, but certainly right now. Like I say, that may change. And yes, Ray, it was awful for my parents to have to deal with what they dealt with. And the worst part was telling us. Ellen howled like a banshee. It was horrible. The noises that came out of Ellen when it was my dad that told us, because my mum was just in floods of tears. We knew the moment they arrived, because my mum was in tears. My mum's quite emotional anyway. She was probably in tears the whole day leading up to it. So my dad had to break the news because mum couldn't talk. Oh dear, I won't forget that for a long time. But yeah, they had a horrible task. Yeah, Lucy just saying that, you know, being there at the end isn't necessarily a good thing. But I think in our situation, if you're not, you feel that this is going to sound melodramatic, but he was alone. He wasn't with us at the end, and that stings a bit. Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate that. Hey, Zahir. You're right. And as I was just saying, he did have a great life, and that's all we could have ever hoped. When we rescued him, all we were hoping was that we could give this little doggy a happy life, and hopefully we'll get something out of it as well. And yeah, job done. But as you know, as well as anybody's here, the emotional attachment that comes along with it. Yeah. I was genuinely surprised how utterly flawed I was when I found out. Barry says, the dog I've got now and the one I had before were both rescues, so I think I am giving them better lives than they would have had. Exactly. And I implore anyone who is maybe thinking about getting a dog to get a rescue dog over a puppy, because exactly that. These poor little dogs are stuck in the rescue center. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing to do. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie has super chatted £10 and says, would just like to donate some money. Every little helps. You can see from your Monty video what a big part of your life he was and how much he was loved. He had such a great personality. Yeah, he took a good picture. And that's the tip of the iceberg rather, with photographs. There's so many. We started looking on our phones and going back through photos that we've got on different computers. And yeah, I will put that video out at some point, perhaps around the time when we've got him back, and we'll go to the rescue center and make this donation. And you know, I'll try and do a video around that time. Stacey says, my mum is watching with me and she couldn't imagine having to give that news. It was a horrible, horrible, series of events, really. That's just how it happened. They dealt with it so well, really, and I'm so glad they felt able to keep that horrible secret while we were away, because it would definitely have just completely ruined the holiday, and there wouldn't have been any gain in us knowing that those 3 or 4 days earlier. But it just meant they had to sit on the reality while we were away. Thank you, Mike, for the super chat. Karin says, rescue dogs are the best. My Monty, because Karin has a dog called Monty as well, which still makes me smile, has changed from a timid little shaggy mess who wouldn't bark to a lovely, noisy, outgoing pooch. With Monty, when we rescued him, he didn't like affection. He didn't like physical, affection in that way. He was quite an antisocial dog with people. He wasn't very good with children. We didn't know his history, but if you went up to him, approached him, and put your hand out to pet him, he would flinch. He would recoil back. So I've always had no doubt that he was hit and maybe abused in the past. But scroll on 7 years, and he would love attention and affection. He learned as well, when he'd had enough of stroking or, scratching around his ears or whatever it was, when he'd had enough, he learned that he could walk away, because he also had this weird thing where he would like attention, but he would then get fed up with it, but not go away. He didn't feel he could then go away. So eventually he'd just snap at you because he'd had enough and wanted to leave. But eventually he learned that he'd just walk off and go and lie down. I've had enough now, and just walk off. But yeah, he was a much more social, friendly, calm animal after we'd had him for all that time. But in the beginning, he didn't really like interaction and attention. And I'm pretty sure he'd suffered a bit in his past homes. Just reading a few messages. Jamie said, we had to have our cat put down 3 years ago. He was 18 years. 18, good Lord. So tough, was with him till the end, never cried so much. Would never get another cat, as could not go through it again. Yeah, the outpouring of emotion, as I've said many times in this video, shocked me. I'm not a particularly emotional person. And this was, just instantaneous. I couldn't do anything about it. I was just, all of us were. Thank you, Swamp Picker. Good to see you. If you've just joined us, and any super chats, I don't expect it, and don't feel you have to. But if you wanted to, the super chats are going to go to the dog's home where we rescued him. That's the idea that we've come up with. Well, I think I'm just going to wrap up here. Really, as the title said, the only purpose of this was to thank everybody personally who has either messaged me or us on the other YouTube video where I shared all the pictures of Monty. There were some lovely, lovely comments of people sharing their thoughts about Monty or their stories about their own pets. If you haven't seen that video, please go over and watch it. And there's some wonderful pictures that we found of Monty, and some lovely comments on there. So I wanted to thank people for that, and also all of the lovely messages I got on Facebook. I put a post on the Tat Chat Facebook group, and it's in the hundreds upon hundreds of messages on that. And then those that chose to PM me on Messenger, or text me, or phone me, or Andrea's had so many messages as well. It really helped, and it really helped explain to us how much Monty meant to all of you guys. I don't think we kind of realized that, but he's been in hundreds. I mean, there's about 800 or 900 videos on our channel, and he must have been in 200 or 300 of those. So you guys feel like you know him, or you knew him. And yeah, I really didn't expect that level of response. So thank you. Oh, hold on, let me scroll back. Oh, good Lord, David. David M has just super chatted £100. Thank you so much. It will be going to the shelter, Blue Cross Animal Shelter. Wow, that's incredibly generous, David. Thank you, Adam. Right, on that on that note, I think I'm going to leave it there. Gary's just said, I will send you something via PayPal. Do not want Google getting half. It's not half, I don't think, but it is a percentage that goes to Google. Be aware of that, guys. Thank you, Adrian. And thank you, Gary. I am. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'm lost for words now. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll let you all know when we're going to go over to the center. Well, I'll make a video and release it, I guess, and make the donation and spend a day in honor of Monty. That's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me. I won't say I hope you enjoyed that. It wasn't particularly enjoyable. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Can't find the off button. Oh, my mouse isn't working. Right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.